Sir, yes, sir. What it do, gang? We live, we back, man. Welcome back to the Golden Goose DFS show. I am your host, Chandler Blakely, aka Goose. Y'all know why I'm here, man. Bringing you another edition of the starting five for DraftKings and FanDuel. But before we do, it's a quick line of review going over yesterday's slate, what we did right, what we did wrong, that sort of thing, you know. So, hey, if you're new to the channel, pardon me. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. You won't be sorry. It's the best kept secret in daily fantasy sports, man. The Golden Goose DFS show. All right? And everybody on this lovely Sunday, do me one small favor. Be so kind and please hit that like button, man. Let's try to get this one back to 100 likes. Please and thank you, all right? Get that good karma going in your life. And also, man, if you need help with your single entry, trying to approach the game differently, look at strategy, jump into 20 max, all of the above, man. We help you with all that. Hit the Patreon link down below and come on over and join the gang, all right? Let's get into this review, man. Rough one last night over here on both sites, really. If you saw my tweet, I went heavy Embiid and some bonus on all sites. I just thought it was so much value, like so many good value plays. I just wanted to nail my pay up options and then just cycle through the different value plays that I like. It was so many guys you could get in there and so many good spots with all that injury news we had yesterday. I couldn't just decide on my favorite value. I liked so much of it, so I didn't want to be tied down to the value. So I would rather. So yesterday I wanted to be tied down to my superstars, the pay up options. Hopefully I can get those the correct pay up options and then just nail my value around it. So that's what we tried to do with Embiid and some bonus. It was heavy on them two yesterday on everything. I knew it'd give us a unique build on DraftKings, going with the two center build, especially with all that value. And then I knew on FanDuel nobody probably would go to that combination as much. So that's what we tried to do yesterday. This is my best lineup on DK. The pay up option was solid. The blowout hurt Embiid. Embiid easily could have gave you a bigger number, but they pulled away from the Pacers here. Can't say it's unexpected. We knew that was a possibility, but we thought Indiana could hang in there a little longer, especially with Harden being out, but didn't quite work out. But Embiid and Sabonis were both solid. Sabonis, the Kings kind of blew out the Wizards too, so they both could have probably pushed 70 fantasy points for me, which would have been lovely. But they ended up being okay. Embiid at 50% on gave you 54 fantasy points, and Sabonis down here 17% on gave you 61. I think he was the second highest score on the slate yesterday, or the highest score, one of the two. But them two was very solid. The value I had in this particular lineup got Shake Milton at 7.8%. Got 24 fantasy points out of him. I figured he would be in line to see a few more minutes regardless, and if the game blew out, he could see a little extra bump in minutes, which is what actually got him to this score. He played most of the fourth quarter and allowed him to give you a solid fantasy score here. He was struggling before then. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, I think everybody, a lot of the DFS community thought he should be in line for big minutes and should be able to play well, but neither of the two happened. He didn't get a whole lot of minutes, and he did not play very well. Only 13 fantasy points at 25% ownership. Definitely hurt. My next two plays, Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray. Now, in hindsight, this is my fault. I definitely probably shouldn't have put these two in the same lineup together. I should have had that rule set out for them to keep them out of the same lineup. I didn't think I would get to too much of that, but it just goes hand in hand. Like, these two rarely ever have a good game together. So this was just a lineup build construction mistake on my part. So shouldn't have had these two in the same lineup. But Harrison Barnes 6.7%, 19 fantasy points at 5,200. Keegan Murray 4.3%. 4.3K at 7.1%. I'm sorry. 37 fantasy points from him. Very solid outing from him. DeAnthony Melton, 37% on home, gave you 42 fantasy points. Another play that was super chalky on yesterday. And then I went to Jaren Jackson trying to get different here. I knew nobody was going to go to him. The prices fell a little bit. He was pushing 8Ks earlier, and now he's down to 7.7. He was going against the Golden State Warriors at home. You know he tend to get more blocks at home. They say it got a lot to do with the scorekeeping. So we just wanted to look at Jackson Jr. here. Got him at 16%. He gave a 54 fantasy points. A nice outing from him. Very solid, but only put up 304 over here on DK yesterday. Came like 2,000 plays, so a rough outing on DK. FanDuel, some of the same. Put up 346, the 222 contest, 550 place in this particular one. Tyrese Maxey 50% on. I loaded up on the Maxey on FanDuel. I think I was almost 100% Maxey on FanDuel. I had him pretty much everywhere. He was 50% owned by the field, 47 fantasy points, very solid. DeAnthony Melton right behind him, 47 as well. Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon here. Once Marcus Smart went out, I knew Derek White minutes was solidified, and I thought Brogdon could see a few more minutes here. And they had a matchup against Utah, a team I thought they should be able to handle easily. That did not work out as the Celtics are struggling right now. I don't know what's going on. They fell to the Jazz. Did not see this one coming. I thought Derek White would have a solid outing with the starting unit, and Malcolm Brogdon would clean up in his time and in any blowout run. But neither of those things happened as well. 28 fantasy points from both of these guys. White at 24% and Brogdon at 16%. Got Denny Avdia at 21%. You know, anytime one of those big three are out, he's next in line to see big minutes, and he can do a little bit of everything. So we was okay getting the Avdia. 27 fantasy points, just okay from him. Kyle Anderson, 16% on. He only gave us 28 fantasy points. Sabonis right here, as you can see. 61 fantasy points for him. Tobias Harris with 41 at 29%. And I snuck the Bam out of bio, man. 6.6% on. Gave you 40 fantasy points. I keep chasing that big game from Bam. He's been solid. We just haven't had it as of yet. But 346, my best lineup on FanDuel. Let's get to today's 5-game slate. You know how it goes. A little smaller slate, man. Not as many options. Still a little bit of news we waiting on. Should have Kawhi back tonight. I think that's it, the major piece of news right now. Starting 5 today at the top, I want to look at Damian Lillard, 10-5, going against this Clippers team. And it's two spots I tell you always, the best spots to attack the Clippers. That's up top at the point guard and down low at your big man. If you got an efficient point guard and a solid big man, that's the best way to attack the Clippers. As you know, those wings, you have a tough outing with going against Paul George and Kawhi defense. So the best way to attack them is point guard and center. And that's what we're doing right here with Damian Lillard at 10-5. Just expect him to have his way here in this matchup. And he should have a good outing. They're going to need him to play good to win here in this spot, especially with Nurkic still being limited. His usage ain't as high with everybody being back, but it's Dame. You know what he's capable of. He can go ahead and drop you 50 real-life points in this game. I like getting the Dame at 10-5. At the shooting guard, I want to look at Cole Anthony. Now, this is strictly a injury news dependent play. We got Suggs still questionable. He missed yesterday's game with a concussion. If he's still out, I think that solidifies Cole Anthony's minutes here in this spot. And he can give you solid production, especially going against a horrible Lakers defense who lost a close one the other day, man. They still need to rack up these wins trying to backdoor in the playoffs. But I like getting Cole Anthony if Suggs is out. If Suggs plays, we might pivot because they could easily split those minutes. At the small forward, I want to look at Brandon Ingram, 8,200. We took him last time in this spot against Houston. He was very solid. Now they back at it again. I like going right back to him at 8,200. Price tag didn't move. You know what he does, man. He's the primary score option for this Pelican team with no Zion. I look for him to be able to have his way against this shoddy Houston Rockets defense. Get you some Brandon Ingram as well. At power forward, I want to look at Paolo Banchero. He's been struggling a little bit as of late, hence the price is dropping, but I like this 7-2 price tag going against these Los Angeles Lakers, man. You know that defense leaves a lot to be desired over them. I need Paolo Banchero to come out and be a little more aggressive on the offense and look to get more involved, and he can have a nice number here against the Lakers, but I like him in this spot, love the price decrease. And then at the center, I want to look at Trent Warford, man. We saw him move in the starting lineup. Now, this is provided Jeremy Grant is still out. I think he is. Let me double check over there. Yes. He's looking like he's still out. And if Trent Warford's going to continue to start and continue to see 30-plus minutes, I like it, man. I like it a lot. Haven't watched. I think he should be getting some minutes at center. Anyone that Nurkic is not getting, who knows how many Nurkic is gonna get. That's the true wild card on the slate, man. If you got a feel for Nurkic and you can get his minutes right, he could crush it. He could crush against this Clipper team. But if he's still gonna be limited like 20, 25 minutes, man, I'm gonna look at Trent Warford. Hope he gets some news before the slate about Nurkic's minutes limit. But Warford should be solid regardless. Like I said, he's been starting beside Nurkic the last couple games and playing well. So, I mean, I'm not worried about Warford's minutes here. Like I said, as long as Jeremy Grant is out, he should be good to go. I like him at 5-1. And I told you this is the best way to attack the Clippers is up top and down low. So, we're going to look at Trent Warford right here. But if we hear anything about Nurkic's minutes increasing or going up, I have no problem going to Yusuf Nurkic in this spot, all right? There you have it, man. Your starting five for DraftKings: Damian Lillard, Cole Anthony, Brandon Ingram, Paulo Banchero, and Trenton Warford. Let's go look at FanDuel and see what I'm feeling over there. All right? On the FanDuel side, probably going to be more balanced for me over here, man. You know, it's tough to find that cheap value, especially on FanDuel. But at the top point guard, I want to look at Jalen Green, 7,400, going against his New Orleans Pelicans. Should be one of the juicier fantasy matchups on the slate. Everybody probably going to navigate to this game and that Orlando and Lakers game. They're probably your best two bets fantasy wise where everybody gonna be. So if you have a line in one of these other games like the Miami Detroit game or Toronto Milwaukee, you got a good feel for it, that could be a great way to take something down tonight, because everybody's gonna be heavy in these two games, the Pelicans and Rockets and the Magic and Lakers. So I like Jalen Green right here at 7,400. Been playing very solid as of late. You know what he's capable of. He's a true shooting guard, so it's gonna be, he lean more towards the scoring, but he can give you some assists and some rebounds as well. But his upside is leaned heavily towards his scoring, so you need him to come out shooting well here against this Pelicans team. At the shooting guard, want to look at Tyler Hero. He's another guy like him and Bam. I've just been chasing these games from them, and they haven't hit yet. We know they're capable of them. Hopefully Tyler Hero wakes up here at 7,300, going against the Detroit Pistons. This could be a game Jimmy Butler falls back a little bit and takes a back seat to these guys, because they probably won't need him to have that big of a game to beat these Detroit Pistons. All right, Pistons have been struggling, one of the worst teams this year in the NBA. So I like going to Tyler Hero here, 7,300. I'm loving his price decrease, and like I said, I'm hoping he'd be aggressive and do a little more scoring, and Jimmy takes a back seat. You know, Jimmy had those in-game rest nights where he just let the other guys do it, and he kind of just plays defense and facilitates. So hopefully this is one of these nights as they shouldn't need him to beat the Pistons. I like getting the Tyler Hero right here, 7,300. Coming in small forward, staying with Brandon Ingram, 8,500. Pairing him with Jalen Green. Give me like a little mini game stack here for a little run back. Like I said, expect this game to get up and down here. I don't know what the Pelicans are going to do with J-Val. Houston may run him off the court depending on if they run Jabari Smith a lot at center, or Sengun can get in foul trouble and that could cause Jabari Smith to move over. Who knows? We'll see. It's a lot of ways you can go, but two things is for sure. Brandon Ingram and Jalen Green are big parts of these offense, and I want both of them in this matchup. Give me Brandon Ingram, 8,500 here. At the power forward, want to look at Trenton Warford, 6,200. Wish the price was a little lower over here, but like I said, he's been playing 30+ minutes, and it's one of the best way to attack those Clippers. Like I said, I will pivot to Nurkic if I hear anything about his minutes, but I like getting Trenton Warford right here. Should be in line for a double threat here in this spot. Get you plenty of Trenton Warford on FanDuel. And then at the center spot, man, rolling out Wendell Carter Jr., 7,200. He coming off a big performance against the Clippers. Hence, like I told you, the bigs against the Clippers. But the Lakers have struggled against bigs as well, and just overall as a whole defense. They've been playing well as of late, though, with AD. I cannot lie. But I still got some interest in Wendell Carter Jr. 7,200. I like this price tag. I love the matchup. Definitely want access to this game here. Get you some Wendell Carter Jr. in player pool. Always live for a double here in this spot. He can give us a nice return at 7,200. There you have it, your starting five for FanDuel: Wendell Carter Jr., Trenton Warford, Brandon Ingram, Tyler Hero, and Jalen Green, man. Get you some exposure to these guys. Get them in your player pools. You know they're going to be in mine, all right? That's going to do it for us here today, man. Y'all know the motto: chances make champions. Y'all green up. I'll catch y'all next time, all right? Let's get it.